You're not falling asleep, are you?
I think some are. And there's a sense of integrity and honesty there in telling the people what you actually see and feel. And I think if there's any difference at all, number one, I don't think there's a bad announcer in the game. They're all outstandingly good. Some may be more interesting than the others because of their style. And style is personality, whatever your personality might be. I'm a people's guy. And I think everywhere I go, I look for people to talk to.
We're big fans of yours in Oklahoma. Came all the way from Washington.
Not only do I go to bars because I like to drink, and I do like to drink, but I go to bars because who do you see there? Baseball fans. You find out firsthand what they like and what they don't like. You can't learn that any other way unless you have an occasion to talk to the true fan.
To know today's Harry Caray, you have to go back to St. Louis and a boy born Harry Carabina. His father left the family, his mother died soon after, and Harry grew up with his aunt. Although he had a happy childhood, understandably the realization of being an orphan always stayed with him. You've talked before about growing up as an orphan.
Well, yeah. I don't like to talk about it too much. There were things about it that were naturally sad, whenever you can't even remember your mother or your father.
Was this a rough neighborhood? You getting your share of fights?
No, I don't recall that at all. In those days, really, I can't remember any kind of fights. The kids played ball and had fun at home, I guess. The closeness between the kids and your neighbors was far superior than it is today. So you see, progress doesn't necessarily make things better. There was more friendship in those days, more pals. A guy would knock on the door, let's go out and play ball, you know. I don't think you see that anymore. I used to go out Sportsman's Park, sit in the bleachers during the week. And whatever it was, I came to the conclusion either that I was just lucky and only went to the ballpark when it was so exciting, or that the announcers didn't feel the game the way I did. The nuances and the positions and the way the pitcher was working and the way the outfielders moved around, the catcher set it up. All these things made an impression on me.
Harry took off with a new career and a new name to go with it.
The station manager, Bob Holt, at WCLS in Joliet, it was his idea that Carabina would be too awkward on the air. And he says, well, you know, he says, why don't we take your first four letters and add a Y, and that became my legal name. And even though in those days, I was the kind of a guy that went out and mixed with the people, went to bars, went to restaurants, always talking to the people for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like to talk to people about sports. And number two, they were teaching me what they really wanted to hear in a sports announcer, which I think is so important.
The pitch to Maris. Here it is. Base hit!
KXOK paired Harry with legendary Cardinal Gabby Street, and as a dynasty developed on the field, Harry developed his own on the air.
Here's the play. Cardinals win. Cardinals win. Cardinals win. Cardinals win.
There are millions of people around America who only know you as the voice of the Cubs. If I was to say, give me the prime chunk of Harry Caray's broadcast career, in my judgment, I'd take something from the 60s in St. Louis.
High pop ball. The Clovers there. The Cardinals won the pennant. The Cardinals won the pennant. The Cardinals won the pennant. Everybody out. Everybody congratulating everybody.
Generations of Cardinal fans were entertained by Harry as he was joined in the booth by Jack Buck.
I don't think I'd ever be as good an announcer as Jack Buck in anything. I think he's far superior, but I think I can make a game more exciting.
Harry's love affair with St. Louis and with the Cardinals was to end earlier than anyone wanted. After his contract wasn't renewed, He went west for a year with the Oakland A's. But then he returned to his native Midwest and the south side of Chicago.
Here's the relay. The White Sox win. Hey, hey, goodbye. Hey, hey, goodbye. And all this to do about me singing the Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the middle of the seventh inning. I always did that. It's the only song I know the words to. The only people who hear me would be Jimmy Pearsall and Mike Torchiar, our TV producer. And then Bill Veeck bought the ball club. And the first game he owned the club, he looks over in the press box and he sees me through lip reading. He figures out what I'm doing. But he sees something I never knew. Right below the booth, there were about 8 or 9 people. And through lip reading, he could see they were singing with me. So the next night, without my knowing it, he hid a public address microphone. Root for the White Sox. Wow, all of a sudden I hear my voice coming booming back at me, along with about 8,000 others. When the game is over, I go up to Veeck. I said, Bill, I said, well, what in the world was that all about? He said, Harry, 45 years I've been looking for the right man. He says, as soon as I heard you, I knew you're the right guy. I began to puff up in the flattery, you know. He said, yes, I don't care whether you're sitting in the bleachers, sitting in the grandstand seat, sitting in a luxury box, wherever you're sitting. He says, as soon as you start singing, that man sitting wherever he's sitting knows he can sing better than you, and so he joins in.
In 1981, a group of investors headed by Jerry Reinsdorf bought the White Sox, and Harry moved his act 9 miles north to Wrigley Field.
Line drive it in! Fair ball! Here's a winning run! Sanchez around third! The relay! He is! Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Santana gonna get him in now! Whoa! There's a long drive, way back, might be, the Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Holy cow! Is that a happy team? The Cubs have won 6 in a row!
All right, Harry, let's bring the story home here to Wrigley Field. In 12 years, the Cubs have been over 500 only 3 times. Now, 2 of those times, they won the division. But 9 out of 12, sub 500. So what's the ball club's appeal?
Well, the ball club's appeal, number one, day baseball. I don't know whether Mr. Phil Wrigley was just a great visionary or whether he was lucky. But having day baseball is the appeal of the Cubs. Generation after generation, the kids get off the L, they come here, they see the ball game, they get back on the L, they're home by 5:30, 6 o'clock. Can you imagine the youngsters and their enthusiasm, telling their parents about the great hit of Grace and Sosa hit over a mile, oh dad, oh mama. And they grow up to be parents too. The same thing happens. Year after year after year, generation after generation after generation. That's the appeal of the Chicago Cubs. Other than that, you know, the game is great. How can you affect the game? The bases are still 90 feet apart. The pitcher's mound is still 60 feet, 6 inches away. I don't think that the new ballparks really help the game as much as the infigurement of the old ballpark.
What do you think your greatest moments have been here at Wrigley Field? What stands out for you?
Sam Musial.
He got his 3,000th hit, one of your most famous calls on radio right here.
Here's the pitch. Line drive, there it is! Into left field! Hit number 3,000! A run is scored!
runs scored, and Stan again turned defeat into victory with one swing of his bat. And the '84 season, here's a team that's gone through a terrible spring training. Dallas Green made a couple of deals. They got Dernier, and they got Matthews playing left field. They got Sutcliffe winning 16, losing only 1, and they win the division title.
Cubs are the champion! The Cubs are the champion! The Cubs win! Look at that mob scene!
And then that team goes on in '89, wins another division title. 2 strikes, a pitch. Hey, Cubs win the division! Cubs win the division! Cubs win the division! Fitzgerald is out on strike. Look at that scene on the field. A division title is not being in the World Series, but the next best thing to it when you haven't been in the World Series for 50 years, 2 division titles ain't bad.
How bittersweet was 1984 for you? It was a tremendous season. Sandberg wins the MVP.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Holy cow! The Cubs go to the coast! Up in the playoffs! 2 games to none!
Here's a pitch.
The playoff seems to be in the bag against the Padres. The whole country is getting ready for it, and it slips away.
Cannot make the catch. He started.
You're making me want to cry.
It's good. There it is. Garvey did it again. Over the right field wall. And look at the pandemonium.
Even after Garvey's heroics in the 4th game, the Cubs still have Sutcliffe coming back in Game 5. They have the lead. The ball goes through Durham's legs. Crazy things start to happen. They lose the game and the pennant.
The Padres have won the National League pennant.
Bob, that's baseball. That happens every day. This is what I say makes this game the great game it really is. The impossible is possible. The unbelievable is believable.
But let's click off a few things that are signatures for you. The net up in the booth. I remember a picture of you. I was living in New York, but I think it showed up in Sports Illustrated when you were the Cardinal announcer in the 60s. You're up there with a fishing net on a hot, humid summer night in St. Louis in polka dot boxer shorts.
That's right. Well, I started that in St. Louis, and the ballpark was such that I got a lot of foul balls. And then I had a net at Comiskey Park. That was pretty difficult. We got a ball about once every 3 years.
Let's clear something up here once and for all.
There's a line drive, deep left field, going up, making the catch. Derek May. Holy cow. I never took any special distinction for using holy cow. I was just the first guy to use it on the air. And the reason I used it, I told you about the neighborhood I came from. Profanity was very common. The reason I had to develop something to say without using profanity, and I thought of holy cow.
Here's the relay. He is out at the plate. Cardinals win 4-3. Holy cow.
I had to train myself to yell holy cow instead of some profanity.
Cubs win.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Or when you were doing their games, Sox win.
A little pop fly, shot left, Sox win! Sox win! Sox win! Holy cow! The Sox win!
You know, I get letters sometimes from young announcers, and they say, do I need to develop a signature home run call?
I don't know. When the ball is hit, you know it might be. There's a drive way back, might be. You see the left fielder moving back, you know it could be. Could be! It lands in the bleachers, it is. It is! Holy cow! Anything you contrive in our business is bad. The only thing you do is be your natural self. There it goes! Way back! It might be! It could be! It is! A home run! And he gets the cycle. A single, a double, a triple, and a homer. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, do. What you see is what you get. When it's me, you may like it, you may dislike it. You may think it's corny, you might think it's mashy, whatever. But I say it the way I'm accustomed to saying it.
What about saying names backwards?
You know, Aunt Lou's name spelled backwards is Eola. That sounds like a first name, Eola.
And one thing they really like, and it increases the volume of mail in and of itself, is greeting people on the air.
Harry Caray and Jimmy Pearsall. I want to congratulate Joan and Terry Stegner, who are getting married today.
The law students from the University of Arkansas in Little Rock are on hand in a group. Whoa, the ball goes through. Here's a guy from Timbuktu, Joe Below. I mentioned his name. When he gets back to Timbuktu, everybody tells him, hey, did you hear Harry Caray? Oh, this guy feels like a gorilla, 10 feet tall. Greetings to Cookie Campbell, a longtime Cub fan. It only takes a second, and baseball is a slow game, and I've never missed a pitch in a ball game. Get well wishes to Bob Skiffington, the Budweiser man from Decatur. Quick throw, got him! And it's if I miss it, you've seen it on TV. I don't have to tell you it's a strike or a ball. They've just shown it to you. So what's wrong with it? Here's Kurt Miller. Miller has bounced out his only previous time. Oh, well, thank you. Come here. Let's do that again.
Only you. Only you.
Who was that?
Do you care?
No. Well, when I start broadcasting, I don't even know who's going to be listening. There's a high pop fly, Sanchez. He never dropped one of those in his life.
He just did.
He did. Holy cow. How about that? An error for Sanchez, only his second of the year. I had just finished saying he never dropped one like that in his life, and he did. Whether they listen in the millions or whether they listen in the hundreds. I don't think an announcer thinks about those kind of things. You know that the game has started, and your job is to make it as interesting and exciting as you know how to make it.
But what is it with you and beer?
Number one, I like beer.
That'll help.
Number two, everywhere I've ever been, I've had a beer sponsor me. I've worked for about 5 or 6 different beers. Naturally, Budweiser is my favorite, besides the fact that I think it tastes better than any other beer. So, does that answer your question?
The Carays have given us a baseball first, something of a dynasty in the booth. 3 generations of broadcasters, from Harry to son Skip, and now grandson Chip.
The fact that I'm one of 3 generations, all of whom are broadcasting Major League Baseball at one and the same time. It's never been done before and may never be done again. And naturally, I'm very proud of that. And of all the things that have happened to me in 50 years of broadcasting, this is the thing I'm proudest of, because this is my family.
Have you finally met your match in Dutchie?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. She's a wonderful person, a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife.
And Dutchie's had to share Harry with every baseball fan. In a sense, we're his extended family. The fans always reaching out to you, calling your name, wanting an autograph, have their picture taken with you. Of course, that's gratifying. But isn't it also draining?
Yes, but it's a small price to pay for something you like. I like the fact that people like me. They make it very clear I'm not being immodest, and I'm proud of my relationship with these fans who I think the world of. And there's no fan more loyal than the Chicago Cub fan. Believe it.
When you went into the Hall of Fame, one of the remarks you made in your speech was that the unsung heroes of baseball are the fans.
We are all fans of the world's greatest game, baseball. And I know that it is the fans who are responsible for my being here. I've always tried in each and every broadcast to serve the fans to the best of my ability. In my mind, They are the unsung heroes of our great game. And I'm very, very proud of being some part of this important piece of Americana.
Coming from you, that didn't surprise anybody.
Absolutely. The fan is a guy that the owners should cater to. The players should cater to him. The players ought to look around and encourage the fan to ask for an autograph. These people make it all possible. I don't care what the contract is. I don't care how much they hit. I don't care how much money they pay. If that fan isn't sitting in that seat, the game won't be around very long.
Any significant regrets?
Regrets?
Significant regrets. We all have small ones. You got any big ones?
Not really, not really. Even the finding out I wasn't going to spend the rest of my time doing the St. Louis Cardinal games. That disappeared long ago. I'm tickled to death. Better things happened for me. I got to see the American League. I got to see the great city of Chicago, where I made worlds of friends.
50 years from now, how do you hope people remember you?
I have no idea. I have a feeling that somewhere along the line, somebody will remember me and say, gee, the Cubs just won the World Championship. Boy, isn't it a shame Harry's not here to see it.
Time to wrap things up. There have been a lot of changes in baseball, some of them for the better, not all of them. And things are less stable in the game. Toronto Blue Jays win back-to-back World Championships, and more than half of their roster is changed from one year to the next. And I've begun to believe that, to the local fan at least, the veteran announcer whose voice is part of the soundtrack of their summer, each with a different style, but you in Chicago, Scully in L.A., Buck in St. Louis, Ernie Harwell all the years in Detroit, Phil Rizzuto in New York, that there's an emotional attachment on the part of the fan to the announcer that's sort of the last remaining thread to baseball as it has been through all the years. And I remember how you called Stan Musial's last at-bat in 1963.
Remember the stance and the swing. You're not likely to see his likes again.
However long it lasts, take a good look and a good long listen, because you won't see Harry's like again either. It's been a pleasure.
Well, listen, Bob, it's such a pleasure for me.
You're going to pull me off the chair and across the plate. The man still has plenty of strength in his 50th year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry.
Okay.
Time for us to say so long. We're gone. Who knows how we're really leaving. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob.